call this our global navigation. The middle we call the dashboard, where you're going to see the course cards of the students that you're observing. And over on the right-hand side, what we have is we have our sidebar. On your sidebar, this is where you are going to see your upcoming events that your students have, the calendar view, and this most important bar is the view grades, which you will utilize most as a parent or an observer within Canvas. But before we go here, what we want to do is customize the dashboard. The dashboard is where you're going to find the course cards of each of your students. It will tell you who you are observing, and the course cards are going to give you just quick notifications if there's an announcement within that class, if there's an assignment coming up, if there's a discussion. You can see files and folders. We can also customize this dashboard view. And the way that we do that is we can do that with each course card by going up to the 3 dots. We call this, we like to refer to it as, with a little nickname, a kebab or an ellipse. And if we click on that kebab or the ellipse, what it gives us the opportunity to do is we can nickname a course if we would like. What we can also do is we can change the color of that course. And now where it says move, this is probably a feature that all of you are going to want to take a look at, because you can move these courses to the top, to the bottom, or what we can also do is we can unfavorite that course card. And if we unfavorite that course card, we can remove it right from that dashboard view to customize that view of what we would like to see. Why would we want to take some of those course cards away? A lot of clubs and activities are running their communications through Canvas. And if you find as a parent that you're just interested in those courses with a grade, that might be where you want to customize this view to take those courses off of that dashboard. And once again, the way that you would do that is you can unfavorite them, and then they would go into the background and you would not have them on your dashboard view. Also on the dashboard up here at the top, you're going to notice there is another kebab, ellipse, snowman. It just means that we have more options. If I click on that, we can customize our dashboard view to the course card view, or what we can do is we can do a list view. And then what we can also do, I prefer the course card myself, we could do a color overlay, which makes it a little bit easier on the eyes, if you will. So just take a few moments and you can customize that dashboard to appear the way that you would like it to meet your needs. And where we're going to go next is we're going to go to our account. And this is probably when we are talking about an observer account that most parents are questioning, how do I set those notifications? Because I'm getting lots and lots of emails about everything that's going on within my student's course. And that's where we're going to move into next. From our account, we're going to go down into notifications and we're going to click on this blue button. And what this allows us to do is this will allow us to set all of those course notifications on how we want to be notified as a parent when something is submitted within Canvas. Now within here, what's really nice is we can hover over these course activities and these little subtitles, and it's going to give us more information about what that notification would be. For an example, due date. Do we want a notification when that assignment due date is approaching? We would come over here to the right, and right now I have mine set up to give me an email notification, but how would I like to be notified? Would I like to be notified? I can set this to the bell, which would mean immediately. I can set it to the calendar, which would be a daily summary. I can set it to, it looks like, it looks like a date on a calendar. This looks like the full weekly view of a summary for the week. And then what I could do is if I didn't want that notification at all, I can turn that off. So it would really behoove you to take some time to go through each one of these notifications, especially if you feel that you are getting too many notifications, and really customize how you want to be notified about your students' work within Canvas. Conversations is referring to the inbox, which would work very similar to email, and you can do those communications right through Canvas, and so on and so forth. So once we get those set, another popular place to go is within settings. The reason why settings are very popular is because some of us don't just necessarily always like to be contacted through our email. Many of us would like to be contacted, and if I click the add button, you can actually add your cell phone in here. You can add your cell phone number, your carrier, and then this will allow you to get your notifications through your cell phone if you choose. And you would do that right underneath your settings. I'm going to continue down the list here, and I'm going to go next to the area that is called observing. And this is where we put in those pairing codes to observe our students. So if you have not yet done this and you need to get those pairing codes from your students, once you get that pairing code, the pairing code can go right within this area, and then you would add your student to that list, and then their course cards would populate on the dashboard. And then last but not least, down here at the bottom is what we call global announcements. And maybe some of you have seen these global announcements lately. They come in right at the top of your account. Maybe they were in there when you came in, because recently we've sent out some global announcements. But after a while, what they will do is they will run for about a week, and then they hide underneath the global announcement. We had one a couple weeks ago that was alerting students to update their iPad to iOS 14. And we have found this has been very helpful. We had a lot of students in the past that maybe didn't know to update their iPad, but now they've updated their iPad because they've gotten this global announcement. And then we've made a couple of changes within the gradebook lately, and this was just a reminder to students and families to be a little bit patient and have a little bit of grace as some of those changes were occurring. So those notifications have expired. Just because they go away from your dashboard, if you click them off, or they have run the time that we've put them on there, they go underneath recents within your account setting. All right, next where we're going to move is I'm going to come back to the dashboard. And where we are going to go is I'm going to put mine back on my card view because I prefer the card view, and I can see that here are my students. Where we're going to go next is we're going to go down to the calendar. I'm going to click on the calendar, and within Canvas on our global navigation, within our calendar, we have 3 views that we can see here. Within our calendar, you can choose to place up to 10 courses on the calendar, and you can customize those courses over here on the right by highlighting that calendar, and you can view those calendar lists by week, by month, or by an agenda view like we had on here. So you can customize what's coming up, and you can see what's going on within your students' courses, all within that calendar view. And what's really nice about this too is you can click right on those lessons, and it will take you into those lessons or those events or those announcements. We're going to head back to the dashboard, and on the dashboard, we are going to take the opportunity now to take a look within our courses. Over here on the sidebar, we have the grades view. And when I click on the grades view, what this is going to do is this is going to give me just an overall grades view for every course. And what you noticed is that we customized that dashboard view. You get a list of all of your courses. So some of those courses that are on here don't have a grade. And what you're going to notice is that it will give you that grade for that student in a quick view. Or what you can do is you can go in, and I'm going to go specifically into this sandbox course for my student. And when I click on that specific course, what I will do is I will get an overall grade view that I can arrange by due date that will give me a chronological list of the assignments and the activities that they have turned in to be graded. What you're going to notice is that the total grade is right up here on the top. You can see that the assignments are put into categories, and you can see how the assignments are broken down. and you can see their grade total. What I really like about this view that is as an observer or a parent is we can see what the assignment was, when the assignment was due, the status of the assignment, if it was submitted, if we have a letter grade, and then what we can notice is we can notice that there is information and there is feedback that was given to the students for each of those. So we can go down this list view and take a look at the assignments that were given. If you notice that there is not a letter grade here and it just looks like an assignment, it means that that assignment was submitted but not yet graded. You can also see that you have upcoming assignments that can be open as well. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at what we're most worried about as parents. And what that would be is assignments that were turned in and the feedback that we would get. So on this assignment, we had a video assignment that was due. And what we can see from the video assignment that was due, it was graded. But what is here is there are comments. I have a video comment that was given. I also have here a rubric, and I can see that my student scored very well on the rubric. And then what I can do is I can also view the feedback that the teacher gave. Wow, how engaging. I really like how you memorized your script and then went to the location where you were doing your photo. So you can see that feedback that the student was given. You can see if it was media feedback, and you can take a look at that assignment as well. So this one was a video that the student did. And when we come in, we can see that the video was given, right? It's available for you to take a look at. Also, we can take a look at, let's take a look at another example. And another example that we can take a look at is with this graphing. I can see that my student turned it in late, but what I can also notice is I can view the feedback that the teacher gave. So here's the assignment that the student completed. But what I can also do as a parent is come in and read how my student is doing and that feedback that the teacher gave. Nice job fixing misconceptions that you had earlier in the unit. Proud of your determination to practice and ask questions. Wow, that seems like the student's doing real well. But if there were an assignment that you did have a question on, that after taking a look through that grade view, we would suggest that you would come on over to the inbox. The inbox in global navigation allows you to communicate with your students' teachers right within Canvas. So what you can do here is if you have any questions about those assignments or assessments that you're viewing or those grades from those grades view, what you may do is you may come on over, you may click on compose, and what it will do is it will allow you to select the course. It will allow you to select the subject and send a message. And you can send a message, you can attach a file, you can attach a video response if you would like, and then you can communicate with that teacher right from within that Canvas inbox. Before we move on and go into our Canvas app, where I would like it to take us is I would like to take us to the Help button. On the Help button, when I click on the Help button, what we are going to notice is that right here, we have the DC Everest Canvas YouTube playlist available for parents. So that way, any of the videos that we have created to help people navigate and work with Canvas, all of these are available for you. And I'm also going to place the recording from tonight's Canvas Parent 101 meeting within this YouTube playlist for people to go back and take a look at if they have questions. Also underneath the YouTube playlist, we have Canvas guides. And within the Canvas guides, you can search those guides for if you have questions about specific topics. with using Canvas. There's all kinds of guides to help you better use the tool itself. If you are experiencing technical problems, if you want to report a problem, you can pull up a chat and have a chat with 24/7 with a Canvas support help. And there's also other resources for you here for navigating hybrid learning and all kinds of resources within Canvas as well. So as I move now from our browser view into our app, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And now would be a great time to ask any questions that you would have on the browser, on the web browser within Canvas. All right, can everybody see my iPad screen? Excellent. Okay, so it doesn't sound like we have any browser questions. Now what I'm going to be showing you is the mobile experience within Canvas. There are 3 apps that you can get from the App Store. And the apps that you are going to notice that we can view are the blue app is the Observer app, the red app is the Student app, and the yellow app is the Teacher app. So we want to make sure that we are utilizing that blue Parent Observer app. And we would log into that app just like we would with our full email address and that same that same password that you set. And now when we come into the Canvas app, we will be on that dashboard view. Now is going to show all of those course cards that we customized within the browser. You're going to be able to see all of those courses in a list view is the view that you come in when you come in within the app. Also, what I want to note to make sure that we are explaining that you can get an app for all types of mobile devices now, that you may get an app for your Android or Samsung phone. We are bringing you in on the iPad just because that's what we utilize here at DC Evers for our mobile experience for our students is the iPad version of the app. With these course cards, you're going to notice that on here you can see a grade, and we're going to have you focus on that letter grade. But what we want you to also note is that you're going to notice that I can see one student at a time from this mobile experience. If I go to the little caret and I tap on the caret, this is where I would manage the students that I am observing. And I can also add a student right here from that mobile experience. We want to make sure that as we are starting to use the app, it's going to be really important that we customize this experience so that way we can get all of our notifications. And we're going to come right up here. We often refer to this little symbol within the app as the hamburger or the sandwich. And when I click on that, you can see here's my observer account. You can see now this is where I would utilize the inbox if I wanted to send a communication to my teacher. But let's go ahead and let's go underneath manage our students. And now you're going to see it's going to bring up the students that I am observing. And we're going to focus right here on Brian because Brian is my high school student. And when I come in, what I can do is I can set how I want to be notified. But what is really, really important is this little tab right down here where it says institution announcements. We want to make sure that that is toggled on, because if that is not toggled on within this mobile experience, you will not be getting notifications. So we want to toggle on our course announcements, our institution announcements. And then what we can do is we can set specifically if I want to be notified if a course is above a certain percent or below a certain percent, I want to be notified right away. And I put in 70% if I'm below a 70%. For my student, I can set those notifications to make sure that I am getting that full mobile experience from the app. So now we're going to focus on taking a look at that course now. I'm going to go back into that course that we were just looking at to see how it compares to the browser. Within the app, the very first thing that you're going to notice is the grades tab. There is a way to come into the front page. This will take you back through the Safari version if you want to navigate the course. But the reason why they put the grades tab first is because in that mobile experience, parents are probably looking for just that litmus test. How is my child doing? And I want a quick look at their grades. I want to take a look to see, have they been submitting their assignments? If you want that rich feedback that we were showing you, that you can view the assignment, you want to view the feedback from the teacher, we can't see all of that from the mobile experience. What we can see is we can see before we could see what that video assignment was that the student was submitting. Here we can just see what is the assignment, what do they have to do, and how can they access that to submit that. What we can do is we can see the grade, but we can't see that feedback from the teacher. Here was the other one that we had taken a look at, were some of these other examples, were those solutions. I can see that the student turned it in, but what I do like from the mobile experience is that if you do have a question, and it's just a real quick question, maybe it was missing, maybe there isn't an assignment here, what you can, excuse me, there isn't a grade here, or you're really concerned about a grade, what you can do from that mobile experience is we can go right on down to that little corner, and you have the ability to email that teacher directly about that assignment. So it gives it a really quick view of being able to communicate with that teacher in a very quick fashion from that mobile app, in that mobile experience. Now going back from that course view, we're going to go to the calendar next. And within the calendar, it views a little bit different, right, than it did on the web browser. What we will be looking for is we will be looking for blue dots. And then within the calendar, I can tap on that blue dot. If I tap on the blue dot, it circles the date that I want to see, and I was tapping on the 9th. And I can see that tomorrow, my student has an assessment that I can graph assessment. So we can see those experiences on that calendar in that full view. We can also change that view to a weekly view if you would like. We can also go down next and we can take a look at our alerts or our announcements. And the announcements now come in a list view. So we can see now that course announcement was coming in, that graph assessment was coming up. Oh, here's that institution or that global announcement, that gradebook update that just came through the other day, asking people to have a little bit of grace with those changes that were taking place within the course. But what we can see is we can see that there is a very different view available between the mobile app and the web browser. As a parent, I most likely, if I wanted that rich feedback and to know more information about how my student was doing within the course, I most likely would use the web browser version of my account, but I would use the mobile app if I wanted just a quick check on my student's progress within those courses. So that brings us just about to 7 o'clock. What I am going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I am going to allow people, if they would like, to come off of mute and ask questions. If you have any questions that you would like to ask. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Please don't hesitate. If questions do arise, you may always reach out And we are happy to ask and support, to answer those questions and support. So don't hesitate to reach out if you ever have any questions or concerns. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was great to see everybody. Thank you.